What is up, everybody? Dan Baczynski here on a solo podcast of The Foolish Youth. Cue the intro. Alright, so today is going to be a solo podcast. Last time I did a solo podcast, kind of tired, not a lot of energy. So this time, going to do a full 360. Lots of energy, lots of excitement. Hopefully lots of views. But, I mean, let's be real here right now. Probably not. Algorithm's not really on my side. And, don't know if the quality's that good. There might be some thunder in the background. Gonna add a little atmosphere. You know how it is. Make it a little more intense. Also, it is thundering outside, and there's nothing I can do about it. So, if you don't like it, get over it, alright? There's nothing I can do. But, Tanner, I'm sorry this podcast is out so late. Was supposed to do a podcast last weekend, but it just didn't work out. You know, we had some cookies, just a little too much sugar in there, and we just had too much of a sugar rush. You know what I'm saying? And just with all that sugar in us, we just weren't able to get around to finishing the podcast. Also, I think I'm gonna delete last week's podcast. That was not good. I am so sorry, Tanner. We tried something. I like the idea, but I think the way we did it was just not good. You know, you can't talk about normal podcast stuff like that, or else it's just lame. Or at least for me, I found it lame. If you didn't find last week's podcast lame, leave it in the comments down below, or send me a snap, because Tanner, you're really the only person who watches these. So you could just send me a personal snap, you know? That's cool. That works for me. But, yeah, there is a lot to talk about. Bad week to not do a podcast because, holy crap, has the world gone insane. Let's first talk about something I just learned today. I might actually get this out before the news does because of the job I have. But, breaking news, Malaysia has now stopped taking in plastic. From Canada, North America, anywhere. They're like, nope, we're not taking plastic anymore. This is huge. Holy crap. My job relies heavily on Malaysia grabbing our shredded up plastic and dealing with it. Because anyone who knows anything about dealing with plastic, it is not good for the environment. It's very gross. It's just bad stuff. So we're glad Malaysia's doing it. But now Malaysia's saying, no, screw that. We don't want to take your plastic anymore. So nobody else does either. That's the crazy thing. Nobody takes plastic. So right now, I know for my summer job, we are kind of, you could tell all the bosses were a little shook. They're thinking, crap. What do we do right now? Because we get a crap ton of plastic. It's like 6 huge bags of plastic a day, if not more. And now we have nowhere to put it. So we have to pretty much store it in our factory till we find something else. And let me tell you, this factory is going to get full really fast with a whole bunch of plastic that has nowhere to go. So let's hope someone finds a place quickly, or that Malaysia changes his mind. Because this is going to be huge for most of the world if Malaysia keeps this up, or if we don't find an alternative. So that's some fun breaking news for you that watch the Foolish Youths podcast. It'll probably be on the news by the time this uploads, but for me, it makes me feel good because I knew this before the news did. I'm a hipster of news. You know? I knew the news before it was cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my news topic today. Today we're going to be doing a little bit more just talking, you know, not structured, cuz I just don't like how that works. For me, I just find we're trying too hard to be something we're not. Because one, we're not that smart. we're not really well, that sounds funny to say, but we're not really that smart when it comes to sports, news, video games. Well, I mean, I know video games, but I don't think we're smart enough to have a podcast where we're like, oh, this is how it goes, this is what we should do. You know what I mean? It just, our podcast would be much better if it was more of a just talking about random shit, because that's what we're good at, is talking about random shit and just about day-to-day stuff. Like, for example, I know I'm a little late to the party, but what is going on with YouTube, man? Holy crap. First, TanaCon. Fuck VidCon, I'm gonna make my own, and it's just the worst. People are burning outside. There's not enough room. She's like, oh, we didn't know there were 15,000 people, blah, 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 blah. Turns out there were only 5,000 people. The amount she said she could fit in, she knew about it. And then she's blaming her Segway driving CEO. Do you see that guy? Like, anyone who watched this whole thing, that guy was ridiculous, man. He's like, so, I'm sorry, but we're going to be canceling TanaCon while he's on his little Segway, and everyone's just like, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. He segues away. But she just threw all the blame on him, and I love it how before she's like, you know what, this is my face, so if anything goes wrong, it's me to blame. But when everything went wrong and she got caught for it, right away went at the CEO and threw him under the bus. I think they're both pieces of shit, honestly. I don't think she was that sad about it. I think those are a lot of crocodile tears. I think she was trying to save herself from the fact that she thought she could pretty much almost scam these people. That's what I think. I think it was a major scam. But yeah, so that goes on. That's a ridiculous failure. FouseyTube sees this and goes, hold my beer. I'm gonna make a concert now in like 7 days or something like that. And then it goes terribly. Nobody goes. He keeps hyping up, Drake's gonna be there, Drake's gonna be there. Oh my gosh, he's telling this story about how he met Drake, and Drake looks him right in the eyes and nods. Meanwhile, Drake has no idea who the fuck he is. What an idiot, man. And then there's a bomb threat. I wouldn't even be surprised if FouseyTube had one of his buddies call in the bomb threat to kind of save himself, because if you watch the video before that concert was garbage, man. There was nobody there. They had no cool people. They had like little, I don't know, one of the new rappers, Lil something, who just, it was so cringy. He's trying to get people to sing his lyrics, and no one was really feeling it, you know? So it was awful, but the best part is when it all goes down, he has a full Charlie Sheen meltdown. He is got the wide eyes. He looks coked out of his mind. I don't know if that was just me, but FouseyTube looked so coked up by the time he was having his rant. I thought he was gonna just fall over an OD, man, with like foam coming out of his mouth, and all his buddies are gonna be like, yeah, FouseyTube, because they are terrible friends for letting him go through his psychotic, he lost his mind. He literally lost his mind. You see him, and he's just so broken. His ego is so big that when something like this happens, it's game over, man. It's just, everything just starts going crazy. He goes on that podcast, what's his name? Bald guy with the tattoos. Sorry, dude, if you're watching this. I don't know what your name is, but Sam Pepper, I guess, was at the concert, and FouseyTube's one of his buddies was blaming him for the bomb prank or bomb threat, and he's like, what? But I mean, I wouldn't put it past Sam Pepper. The guy's kind of a dumbass, so it's just two idiots bumping heads. And then at the podcast, FouseyTube is like, this concert was all about love and yada yada yada, it's all great. And then Sam Pepper's like, yo, your guys were awful, man. He's like, you're a beta male. I am alpha. You're beta. Sit down. What are you going to do about it? And honestly, I could feel the love from FouseyTube when he was calling him that beta male. Like, wow. It's so funny how people just switch from, oh, everything's about love and peace to someone offends them, so then they just do a full 360, screw you, you beta male. Like, who calls people beta male? Like, honestly, the only people who call other people beta males, like, seriously, like, I'll do it as a joke sometimes, like, oh, you beta. Like, I don't know, it's kind of funny to say. But the only people who do that seriously are the guys who work out at the gym for 5 hours a day, take Instagram photos of themselves going, you could achieve anything. Very inspiring. Thank you, dude. I'm glad you have big muscles. I want to become a producer in Hollywood. I don't see how your big muscle picture is going to make me go, yes, I can do anything. Thank you, sir. It's like, get out of here, man. No one cares. No one cares. That's the thing that I don't understand. People always post these things like they're these big inspirations to the rest of Instagram. Like, you can do anything you put your mind to. No one cares what you think, bro. Or girl. Guy or girl. Anyone who does that, who goes on Instagram and tries to post inspirational stuff, I have news for you. And I can't believe you don't know this already, but no one cares. Okay? No one cares. I don't think I've ever heard someone have this huge inspirational story, and when they're interviewing them, it's like, what happened to get you to this point? The person went, well, I was hooked on heroin in the alleyway, and I checked my phone, and I saw my buddy's Instagram story, and he was working out, lifting weights left, right, and center. He got really muscular, and then he said, you can put anything you put your mind to. And I was like, yes, you're right. I will quit heroin. You know, that doesn't happen. Because guess what? You're not a famous celebrity. Even them. Why do people care about celebrities? Like, oh, I got over my alcohol addiction. So can you, as a famous celebrity. Yeah, I didn't have millions of dollars to put to rehab, so people could pretty much get over my addiction for me. Alright? I'm sorry. But that's what I think of all these celebrities that are trying to be the inspiration to the world. Like, oh, well, I was able to get over this and do this and that and that. Well, guess what? You had millions of dollars to help you out with that. No shit you were able to get over it. What about these people who have a day-to-day life? They don't have money to go into these fancy rehab clinics. You know who are the true heroes? Those people that didn't have anything and just fought through it and just did anything they could to get out of it. Those people are real inspirations, not these millionaires who pretty much had the easy way out. I'm sorry. If you disagree, put it in the comments, tell me why. But celebrities are just not inspiring, you know? At least to me. I've never seen how people can see these certain people as inspirations. I understand if, let's say, they started from nothing, worked their asses off to get up there. That's a little inspirational, alright? I can take that. But I love these celebrity actors and actresses whose parents were actors, so then they already had a ticket into Hollywood, and now they're like, you could do anything, look where I am. It's like, no shit, your parents did everything for you, you know? Like, is it Jaden Smith? Yeah, Will Smith's son, Jaden Smith, has a song, I'm an icon. No, you're not, bro. Wake up, your dad's an icon. Your dad was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Woo! And you're nothing. Like, does anyone go, ooh, do you see that new Jaden Smith movie? No. Ooh, do you see that new Jaden Smith song? No. Dude, you're just a rich kid. You're just a rich kid, man. You're just a rich kid who feels he's this entitled icon when in actuality, all you're known for is the dumbass tweets you put out, bro. But I mean, those are pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. If babies could talk, they'd be the smartest people on earth. That got to me, because I was thinking, when I was a baby, I remember being super smart and being able to think, oh wait, no. When you're a baby, you can't talk because your brain don't work. Jaden, Jaden, I would love to have you on the podcast so we could discuss this more about why babies can't talk. It's not like babies have all these intelligent thoughts, but they're just not able to get it out because their baby mouths are too small. Wouldn't that be awesome if, like, as a baby, you were super freaking smart? It's just your mouth was too small to get, like, words out, so it'd be like, beep, 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 beep. And everyone's like, what? Baby, say something. But then as you got older, you got more stupid, and then you started getting more smart again. I don't know how this... See, this is why I need Jaden Smith on the podcast, bro. He's so much more woke than me. And he just understands this stuff. Like, how can mirrors be real if your eyes aren't real? I didn't even know our eyes weren't real. Like, that blew my mind. Okay, for any of you at home who don't know I'm being facetious or sarcastic, whatever word makes you feel okay, because look up facetious. That's a new word you can use. It's a fun word, too. And people are always like, facetious? What does facetious mean? And then you're like, oh, it kind of means sarcastic, pretty much. But I am being sarcastic, alright? Jaden Smith is a dumbass. But that's all I have to say about him. I don't want to be too mean. This is probably going to be a shorter podcast because, one, I'm by myself. All by myself. Alright, I'm going to cut that shit out. But yeah, I'm all by myself, so kind of just trying to make up stuff on the fly. You know, go on rants, talk about random stuff. Man. Okay. You what? Guys, are you ready to get political? Because I'm ready to get political. Get on your Make America Great Again hats or your Fuck Trump hats. I don't know what the Democrats have. But guess what? We're going into American politics. Because Trump, I have tried to be fair to Trump. Everyone is always attacking him because they just don't like what he said. And I was like, wait, unemployment is the lowest since 2003. Wait, he's doing some stuff. I'm done, all right? I cannot, with a good, in good conscience, support this guy after he just fondled Putin's balls, man. And then he tried to go back on it, and he keeps changing his story. No, fuck that, man. Guess what, Trump? Russia is not your friend. It will never be your friend. When are you gonna wake up and see this, man? They obviously were in the election. They obviously were doing some shady stuff. Like, we have so much proof. And you still went and sided with him over your own country. That was so shameful, man. And then he tried to go, oh, well, I accidentally said would instead of wouldn't. That's not something a president is allowed to do. I'm sorry. I don't like Obama. But I don't remember him going, oops, I said this instead of that, which completely changes the narrative of what I said. No, he said what he said. And he's going to be a puppet for Russia if he doesn't change this soon. Because this is disgusting, man. I don't know if you know this, but Ukraine is still being annexed and is still in a war with Russia. They are still trying to take over another country. Hello, the world has forgotten about this. The news doesn't care anymore because guess what? It won't get them enough views anymore. They don't care about actual stories. Once the story's been told and people show a slight disinterest, guess what? That story's gone. Ukraine didn't get better. There was no happy ending, but everyone has forgotten about it. You know why? Because the news doesn't care anymore. Meanwhile, this country is still broken. It's still at war. People are dying, even to this day. But we don't care. And it really frustrates me. Of course, I'm going to be a little biased, as both my mother and father's background is Ukrainian. So 100% pure blood. But yeah, for me, it's very frustrating to see a country who's so obviously sketchy, shady, not like, you cannot trust Russia. I don't know where Trump is getting all this. Oh, we're good friends, we're good buddies. He's such a nice guy. Have you seen everything Russia has done, man? The guy does not care because the West has become so weak and is so scared to do anything. Honestly, that's why he's able to annex Crimea. He's able to support the Syrian government, Iraq government, Iran government, help out North Korea, all this stuff. You know why he's able to do whatever he wants? Because everyone else is too scared to go to war. They don't want to have any conflicts. And of course, war sucks. Don't get me wrong. You never want war. But you cannot let countries like this just do whatever they want. The last time we let a country do whatever they wanted, they ended up taking the Rhineland, they ended up invading Poland, taking the Czech Republic, and you know what country that was? Germany, under Adolf Hitler. I know people are going to be like, whoa, Dan, you can't compare Putin to Hitler. And I'm not saying they're exactly the same, alright? I'm not saying that. But I'm saying is we are following a very similar path of appeasement, of going, okay, we don't want any trouble, so we're going to let you go, and things are going to get a lot worse. Mark my words, man. But later on, when the war starts, and this world goes kablamo, and we're in the ruins, the last of humanity is rebuilding, and they find our ancient technology. This will be like hundreds of years in the future. They are going to find this podcast, and I will be known as the man who knew the future. Because it's going to happen. If the West, the UN, America, someone doesn't do anything. No one's doing anything. Everyone is too scared because our world has become so soft. You can't say anything without hurting people's feelings. You can't post any jokes without hurting anyone's feelings. You know? Although, to be fair though, there are some things in this world, like some parts of the soft side, that I think are good. For example, James Gunn, director of Guardians of the Galaxy, got fired for what he said. And some people are like, oh, well, he said this years ago. Did you read those tweets? They were disgusting. There was nothing funny about them at all. I don't know what he was thinking. Like, I don't care that the PC culture was not up back then. Those jokes were still disgusting. Just like making jokes like, oh, the tree grows a penis and like rapes the kid or something like that. It was gross. There was nothing funny about that. It wasn't shocking humor. It was just shocking, disgusting tweets. And I do not blame Disney at all for firing him. I would not want that. Like, I am not a PC person, but I would not want that in my company. Like, those weren't jokes. I don't know how those were jokes. They were just disgusting comments made by a guy who was just trying to get attention, I guess. So, they weren't good jokes, and they're just so gross. They're just so gross. I wouldn't want it. Dan Harmon now has a thing too where he made some gross jokes. I understand though why Adult Swim didn't fire him, because Disney and Adult Swim are very different companies. Disney is very kid-friendly, very PG, and you don't want someone with all these previous rape jokes on child molesting and stuff like that. You don't want that in your company. I'm not saying you'd want that in Adult Swim, but for such a child-focused company, it makes sense for them to get rid of someone who made these jokes. Because I wouldn't want anyone knowing that someone like that is in my company if I work for Disney. That's disgusting. So guess what? People are now upset that you can post stuff on the internet and you're gonna get caught, you know? That's That's kind of the crazy thing about the internet, though, is back when he posted that stuff, it was still kind of a newer thing. So people didn't really know how dangerous, I guess, the internet is when it comes to your reputation. Because once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. So that's why you got to get rid of some, or you just got to think before you write things down. Think, hey, will this affect me in the future? Hey, I hope these podcasts don't affect me in the future. I mean, I don't think we said anything too bad on these. I think we keep it pretty relaxed. It's not exactly PC. Maybe a little too much swearing. Trying to keep it down right now. But yeah, I think we're okay. But guess what? I think it's good that this stuff is coming out now because it's putting out a warning. It's like, hey, watch your mouth, pretty much. It's just the internet is now evidence for everyone to have on what you think as a person. If you post stuff on the internet, there's nothing private about the internet. I hate it when people are like, oh, well, I posted this on my private Twitter account. That doesn't matter. You posted it on the internet. If you didn't want people to see it, don't post it on something that goes worldwide. Hello? Is this not common sense? And it's always these people in their late 20s, 30s, and 40s, man. I don't know what it is with this age group, but they just seem to not understand how the internet works. I guess it was because they kind of grew up before the internet, but it just feels like, especially that group, just felt like, oh, I can figure out the internet, and now they're just doing all this dumb shit. Because I think more people, at least my age, which is like 19 and younger, being born and like raised through the internet, we know the rules. We know, hey, don't post this stuff if it is bad, because people will find it and it's gonna screw you over. Oh god, I really hope none of these podcasts have anything bad. But I don't think they do. Comment down below if you think there's anything that might ruin my life later on in the future. But yeah, I think that is a good place to end it. Had a few rants in here. Actually, pretty much this whole thing was a rant. If you like this kind of podcast, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. Get me some notoriety. Get me some views, because I don't know how we're going to get more views at this point. I think we're going to start putting out some short skits. So if you like those, hit the notification bell. We usually post once a week. Sometimes not, because, I mean, we don't really have anyone watching right now. So it's just kind of like, when we can get it out is when we can get it out, you know. I'm not going to keep on this tight schedule for just you, Tanner. I'm sorry, Tanner. You're just not worth it, man. But yeah, I think we're going to end it there. Thank you for listening. Tune in next time. Bye for now. Boop.